So the Prime Minister's office has made the unilateral decision to not let me in?
The Prime Minister's office has agreed with the Canadian Press Gallery that your organization's views are not welcome.
You know, my boss Ezra Levant was joking when he called it the media party, but in fact, it's true, and I just confirmed it on video. A Prime Minister's office staffer stopped me from going in those doors because I have this microphone, for no other reason than that. I came to the White House, I covered Donald Trump and Trudeau appearing with him for a very brief 80 minutes. Most of that was taken up with local reporters talking about Iran, so Justin Trudeau had a pathetic amount of time with the leader of the free world. So he comes here to speak with media in a controlled environment where the Canadian Press Gallery decides who can and who cannot go and speak to the Prime Minister. Now you're saying, oh, well, Keean, the Canadian Press Gallery is an independent third-party organization. Au contraire, it's not. Listen to what this PMO staffer had to say.
Good, how are you?
You won't be able to come in
Okay.
to the event.
Why?
Just because your organization is associated with white nationalism and white supremacy, and those values and views are not welcome in this place.
So I'm allowed in the White House to cover a news event, and I'm not a white nationalist, I'm not a white supremacist, but you guys get to
arbitrate. Has been associated with that type of behavior and rhetoric, so the White House accreditation.
So the Prime Minister's office has made the unilateral decision to not let me in?
The Prime Minister's office has agreed with the Canadian Press Gallery that your organization's views are not welcome. So that's all I have. They'll get you to leave, but I just wanted to come.
So the Prime Minister's office determines who can and cannot cover Canadian politics in the United States.
It's a Canadian embassy event, and you are also not an accredited journalist in the Canadian Press Gallery at a Canadian media event, and that's why. So
that's spectacularly disappointing.
So they will let
and pathetic.
They will escort you out. I don't appreciate that tone, as I'm being respectful with you. So
you're not being respectful. If you're being respectful, you'd let me cover my Prime Minister, as I flew to Washington to do.
There's a process for accreditation,
and I've tried to apply through the Canadian Press Gallery, and as I did with the White House, and they let me in quite smoothly. They were quite kind and respectful. But you guys are quite clearly partisan, and so is the Press Gallery, and it is pathetic and a disgrace.
Did you catch what he said? The Prime Minister's office and the Canadian Press Gallery decided together. A Prime Minister deciding who can and cannot cover him? That sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me. We know he admires dictators. He admires China, after all.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
It gets worse than that, though. This joke of a PMO staffer said that I work for white nationalists and white supremacists. An absolute lie. You know who greets you when you walk into Rebel HQ? An Asian lady. You know who our accountant is? A black man. You know who our camera guy is in Toronto? Dominican. You know who my partner is? They're from Hong Kong. I'm the farthest thing from a white nationalist. You know what I am, though? Someone who asked Trudeau tough questions, and that's why I'm on the no bueno list for the PMO. And they've colluded with the Canadian Press Gallery with their incestuous relationship. You know, Terry Keean, who's now body checker in chief for the PMO. He used to be the head of the Press Gallery. Now he's been replaced there, moved to the PMO, but he still obviously exerts as much control over it as he did when he was the head of it, because he's deciding which Canadians can and cannot come to their own embassy in a foreign country. It's a joke. This PMO needs to go. This Press Gallery, it needs to be scrapped. Thanks so much for supporting our coverage here in Washington, D.C. If you did at rebelinvestigates.com. If you haven't yet, I would appreciate it if you pitched in. I'm sorry I couldn't show you more. I'm sorry I couldn't approach Justin Trudeau and ask him if he lectured the president in private about social issues in a foreign country. I'm sorry. I think Trudeau knew I was coming. That's why he had PMO staffers waiting at the door to keep me, a Canadian, out of my own embassy. It's a disgrace. I think we got some good footage and covered some good news at the White House, where there's a respectable administration. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.